Hello all, and welcome back to Layer by Layer. I know, surprised, right? It's been a while since we had a voice on these types of videos, but I had an idea to do something a little different for Layer by Layer going onward. I mainly made these videos just for me because I like watching time lapses, and I like to go back and look at my process on things, like my process completely uncut. But I thought it'd be a cool idea to use these videos to kind of just give some insight on the video the thumbnail is for. So like talk about like, oh, what happened during recording and editing, highs and lows, all that kind of stuff. So the new format of the show is basically the same it's always been, except now there's me talking over it. Some of you might like that, some of you might not. But going into the customizing my denim jacket with Posca markers video, maybe I don't need to say the whole name, but I had this idea for, God, a long time. Relative long time. A couple months. I think I came up with this idea back in May when I was decorating my graduation cap for college. And it was the most low effort graduation cap I could ever come up with because it was like the day of I decided to design it. I had the markers and they were still good, and I'm like, I have two denim jackets. One I wear all the time and one that's I've outgrown a little bit. What if we try experimenting and, just decorating it? And then I came up with this X-ray style design that I really loved. That being said, I know myself to be notoriously bad at drawing bones. That was what was holding me back. That's why it took so long between initial idea and actually filming the video. It took a while for me to even get around to editing it. And it was cool too because I tried a different kind of setup than what I'm used to on this channel. If you didn't know, this channel is all just me. I do the recording, the editing, the thumbnails, the whole 9 yards. So I wound up going with a 2-camera setup for this video because I recently moved my workstation from my room, which was very limited, to my basement, which is actually where I started when I first got a PC. I was going to film a video on that, but the footage was not interesting. So, oops, maybe I'll film a tour. So it made it actually easier to record this video because now I had room between my webcam and my green screen. And so, as you can see, I used the webcam as one angle for the video. And then I set up my camera, which is I want to say, my D5100. It's not I was going to say DSLR, but I can't say that with confidence. So I set up my other camera to record the actual top-down view of the jacket. And so that gave a little more dynamicism, if that's a word, to the video that I can cut back and forth with. If you could imagine, that made it also more work in editing. And so I'll touch on the editing a little bit. I don't want to go too long. But when I was recording the video, I was very pleasantly surprised with how easy the arms were to draw. It was really just looking at a reference, scaling it out beforehand, just by wearing the jacket and marking where my actual joints are, and then just going over it and coloring in it. Obviously, the hardest part was dealing with the folds in the fabric. The back, however, sorry for peeking, was a little harder because I don't know what happened. I don't know why my idea of referencing the back became non-existent. Like, I had a reference. I was looking at a reference while drawing it, but something got totally lost between seeing it and actually putting it to paper, or denim in this case. And looking back on it, the spinal columns, cords, bits, whatever they're called, turned out way too large for an actual spine. And obviously I probably wasn't going to do all 24 columns or however many an actual spine is long, but they're gigantic. They're like 5 to 10 times the actual size they should be in relation to a human back. And so it's still cool. I still love it. I still think it couldn't have turned out a lot worse, and I'm happy that it didn't. Like I said, it took a couple of weeks between filming and editing, and I really thought I had something down going into it. Like, while I was filming, I'm like, okay, these are the points I'll touch on. I'll say this, this, and that, and just like, I thought I was fleshing out the storyline while filming, and maybe I forgot between the weeks, but also, there was a lot more than I expected. Even in that first part, that whole testing out phase. And so, like, I felt like it wasn't perfect. Not perfect, but like, there was a lot, my planning out was not as extensive as I thought, because I just said so much while testing it on the jeans that, like, it was originally like 15 minutes long with certain cuts that I had to go back and cut down even more. Other issues that came about were just like color correction, because I got to work on my webcam. It keeps refocusing and automatically adjusting colors, which I do not want. And so I had to play around with color correction in the end, which added some time. And maybe it was just this video because I was so sporadic about it. I didn't go in a linear fashion. I kept jumping between the end, the time lapse at the beginning of the Photoshop, and the jeans at the end. And I'm just like, oh, this is all way, way too much. And every time I was looking back, I'm like, okay, I'm almost done. Oh, wait, I still got that to do, and that to do, and that to do. And it was very discouraging, the process. But once it was done, it was totally worth it. Especially that last scene at the end where I did the Danny Phantom transition. That I really liked, and that was definitely worth it. That's all I really have to say. Maybe I can go on longer, but I don't want to go on too long. So let me know what you thought of this new format. I like it, but I gotta work on the whole speaking thing, because I don't want to ramble for 20 minutes on a time lapse. But here's the final thumbnail, and let me know what you thought of the video, this one, the last one, all the other ones on the channel. If you want to, like and subscribe. You can check out the other video too if you didn't do that yet, which is cool, which would be much appreciated. And have a good day.